106 and 75 roll with the complimentary plays here on the video report over the past 91 days. Not a bad 3-month run with the plays I'm giving away for free. Took a split yesterday, cashed in easily with the Packers, but unfortunately the Falcons couldn't get there in overtime. Today, I'm going to break down the Monday night game for you. The Steelers and the Chargers, give you a free pick there, plus a free play on the Mets, Dodgers, and National League playoff action, a season-to-date update on how the Chalks and the Doggies have done so far this year, and plus not only a look at this year's Monday night results, but all the way back to 1993 as well. That's all coming up in just a moment. Guys, I'm going to start today's report the same way I started yesterday's report, the same way I started Saturday's report. Hell, I probably started this report the same way frequently over the past couple of weeks, but why not? Brad Wilton is the hottest handicapper here at the site. No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, it's not even a contest right now. That's how good he has been. So you can say that over the long haul, he's been tremendous because over the past 95 days, he's made $10 bettors $31,000, okay? But how about short term? He's won 14 of the past 18 days. And in that 18-day stretch, $10 bettors have won $19,720. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, you've gotten every single one of those major wager releases from Brad Wilton for at least half price off, as I continue to show you that you don't have to spend big money to make big money, and the same thing goes today. This past weekend, he raised the bar to heights that he had never even explored during his tenure here as a handicapper at the site, which began right before the Super Bowl in 2013. First ever 250-dime releases, ever, in any sport. And how good were they? He said that he had a 3-touchdown blowout on the Saturday card, and then delivered with Ohio, a 16.5-point favorite that won by 31 points over Miami of Ohio. Then yesterday, he had his NFL Dog of the Year, and the Cleveland Browns win the damn game outright at Baltimore. Just a phenomenal roll. Now listen, he has been pressing the action almost every single day for the past 3 weeks, and as I've always told you, I just believe that when you're on a roll, you got to press the action because you're playing with somebody else's money at this point, your bookmakers or your sports books, right? And the other thing is, when you're in that groove, you know that groove I'm talking about, that's when you got to keep pressing it. You don't walk away from the table. Well, tonight, he's got another major wager release, 100-dime play. AFC Monday night game of the year, the Pittsburgh-San Diego side, 26-7 roll with 100-dime top-rated plays or higher. And you get it for half price simply by using coupon code 100DIMES. 100DIMES from the hottest handicapper here at the site. Props going out to Steve Budin's New York crew. Yesterday hit their first NFL play of the season. 50-dime play. Couldn't have been easier with the New England Patriots, right? I mean, really, did Tom Brady show up Greg Hardy? Oh, I think so. Did he make Jerry Jones look like a fool? Oh, I think so. Did I love it? Oh, you bet I did. That was one of my favorite games to watch yesterday because, I mean, listen, it wasn't my best bet. My best bet was Cincinnati. Ugh, geez. You know, I don't have a lot of gray hair. Well, maybe here, but I don't have any gray hair really, but I started to get a lot of it watching that game yesterday. More about that in a minute. But listen, yesterday you got that play for $39, a savings of $60 off the regular price. Tonight, they've got their second NFL play. It also happens to be 50-dime winner number 25 out of 35. It's the Steelers-Chargers over-under. You save $85 off the purchase price by using coupon code NYC50. NYC50. As for me, listen, I am eternally grateful that I escaped with 2 wins this weekend. I had LSU on Saturday, right? 15-dime play, which matches my normal top-rated play in any sport. LSU laying 19.5 when I released the play. I anticipated it going up. It went up to 20.5. They held on for a 21-point win at home against South Carolina. Even though they put like 605 yards, I think, in total offense on the board in that one, they still just barely managed to cover the spread. Then yesterday was payback in a positive way. How many times have I said to you that, you know, when the breaks go against you, you just never can see the forest through the trees because you just think, oh my God, I'm never going to get a break. But in reality, what happens is, I found over 20 years of doing this, is that over the long haul, even though you may not be or may not recognize it, that ultimately the breaks more often than not go in your favor. So let's go back a week today. Seattle. I mean, Russell Wilson, the fourth quarter fumble with 4 minutes or so go. Detroit returns it for the touchdown. They get the cover. I was in a position to win the damn game because I had bought down the half point off of 10. I had Seattle at 9.5. They're up by 10. I figured the Lions were never going to score, and they didn't, right? Other than the defensive return. So that was a costly one. It hurt. It was a 10-dime play. It was a loser. Yesterday, I have another 15-dime play off of LSU yesterday. What happens? I take the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, listen. I'm a big boy, and I know that there are two things that generally don't happen. You win a big game when that big game is started by Andy Dalton, okay? And when they're down 17 points yesterday in the second half, I turned the damn game off. I got to be honest with you, I turned the game off. To see them come back and force overtime, and then to see them win it on a field goal that clanks off the uprights and then goes through magically. And, of course, did I not buy down the half point to win at 2.5? You bet I did, and you did too. So I'm very, very grateful. But, again, the breaks ultimately go one way or another, and I think they go more in a positive fashion. So today, I'm going for winning day number 13 out of 17, but the hell with this Monday night game. I'll give you the free play on that one in a minute. And believe me, I broke it down from every angle, and I really do like the play, but not as much as I like the baseball game between the Cubs and the Cardinals today. So it's going to be 15-time winner number 9 out of 12 for me on the Cubs-Cardinals side. Remember, it goes at 6:05 Eastern Time at Wrigley. Just as strong as the Bengals yesterday, as strong as LSU on Friday, as strong as the Cardinals in Game 1 with John Lackey in the 4-0 win on Friday night. And that was playoff winner number 3 out of 4. Today going for 4 out of 5. You get it at a savings of $55 by using coupon code BASEBALL22, BASEBALL22. So let's talk about a little football action here. What happened over the weekend in terms of the favorites and the underdogs? Well, believe it or not, the favorites are actually 6-5-2 against the spread so far this week. Now, the underdogs are still up 36, 35, and 6. On the year. They have a 1-game advantage versus the odds makers. But the amazing thing is that 26 of those 36 underdogs have won outright. Yesterday, you had the Browns winning outright, the Bears winning outright. Oh, what a bad season is Andy Reid having. And, of course, you had the Colts winning outright on Thursday night. Now, in terms of Monday night play, the underdogs have gone 4-1 against the spread, with the Packers win over Kansas City a couple of weeks ago being the only exception, the only team to escape the underdog kennel, as I like to call it. But here's the reality, when it comes to Monday night games, that the fact is that really the favorites don't have any overwhelming advantage against the underdogs when you go look long-term on the Monday night schedule. Favorites overall are only a handful of games. I'm talking like 5 or 6 games over 500 versus the underdogs on Monday night going back to like 1993. Same thing happens when you're looking at favorites between 1 and 6.5 points. You're only looking at, I think, 6 games over 500, the chalks are. Again, in all those games going back to 1993. So even though the favorites have covered 4 of the first 5 this season, the underdogs have covered 4 of the first 5 this season, ultimately this is all going to even out over the long haul, as it is done if you go back all the way back to 1993. It's all cyclical. I call it the Monday night mythology because everybody says, oh, you got to bet the Monday night home dogs. You got to bet the Monday night dogs, period. Well, yeah, Monday night dogs have covered 4 out of 5 so far this season. But again, it's all cyclical. It all evens out. And with that being said, what am I going to tell you tonight? To go with the Monday night dog. Yes, I actually think the Pittsburgh Steelers might win this damn game outright. You look at this San Diego Chargers team, and my God, they are just wrecked with injuries. The offensive line has King Dunlop, the one start. I think he's the starting left offensive tackle. He's doubtful for tonight. One of their guards is questionable for tonight. That front line has afforded Phillip Rivers absolutely no protection so far this season. In fact, I think Rivers has been sacked 12 times in 4 games already. The Chargers defense, they can't stop the run. Unable to stop the run tonight. Well, you got to think that Le'Veon Bell in his 3rd game back, plus with D'Angelo Williams there, that the Steelers are going to just pound the ball against this Chargers defensive front. Now, the Chargers have a good pass defense on paper, But remember, when you're running at will against San Diego, why would you pass the damn ball in the first place? And I think that's a positive for the Steelers tonight, because even though they've had 2 extra days of prep time, even though Michael Vick has now had 5 full practices since their last game, that Thursday night debacle when they blew the 20-7 lead and lost in overtime to Baltimore, I still don't want to see Michael Vick, if you're a Steelers fan. I don't think you want to see him throwing the ball 37 times here tonight. No, you're going to pound the ball at the center of that San Diego defensive front. You got Bell. You got the change-up back with Williams coming in there. You're going to run the ball. The more you run the ball, the more you keep Phillip Rivers off the field. Rivers has shown, just ask the Detroit Lions in week number 1, Rivers has shown that when given time, he can still shred anybody's offense or defense. The other problem now with San Diego is the injuries have also affected their wide receiver core. Stevie Johnson, who have been playing a lot in the slot, he's going to miss the game tonight because of post-concussion syndrome. Antonio Gates is coming back, seeing his first action of the season after the 4-game suspension that he had to serve. But this Chargers team just doesn't have the personnel right now to click on all cylinders. So I like this one to go the Steelers' favor. I think the public being enamored with San Diego, and I say enamored because you look at this line, it was San Diego 3 early in the week, or late last week. It went up to 3.5. San Diego is now a 4-point favorite here. So my way of thinking, again, when that line crosses 3, 4, 7, and sometimes 10, you're buying up or down the half point. Well, in this case, if I've got Pittsburgh at 4, I'm buying the 4.5. If I got Pittsburgh at 3.5, I'm buying them up to 4. Because the public, in their mind, the last thing they remember is the Steelers blowing that lead and losing at home in that Thursday night game against Baltimore. So that's the impression they have. They don't realize how fortunate the Chargers were to win last week against Cleveland. They just don't realize how bad San Diego is. So I think the dog is the way to go in this game. So I'd grab the points with Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game too, but I'd rather not venture even a free play on the total. I just think Pittsburgh is the way to go in this contest. Now, let's take a look at this game between the Mets and the Dodgers. The series is tied 1-1. Matt Harvey is going to go here. 2.23 earned run average in 17 starts at Citi Field this season. But even though he had a 2.19 ERA in 12 starts after the All-Star break, it's a little disconcerting that this guy's ERA in 4 September starts was 5.01 to be exact. Now, Brett Anderson is going for the Dodgers. He actually pitched better on the road than he did at Chavez Ravine. 4.29 in LA, 3.07 on the road. But this is another guy who, when you look at his splits in terms of pre-All-Star, post-All-Star game, well, not exactly favorable. Before the Midsummer Classic, his ERA was 3.17. Afterwards, 4.48. You know, he hasn't been healthy in a number of years. I think he made a career high in starts this season. He was definitely one of the steadier guys when it came to the Dodgers rotation in terms of maintaining his health for the season. But you got to wonder if he simply wore down. The Mets were a great play at home this season. But this is a Mets team that lost 5 of its last 6 regular season games. Fortunate to take the split in LA, right? But they've only scored 15 total runs in their last 8 games. And that includes the first 2 games of this playoff series. Now, you can take them on the run line tonight, which is the only way you got to play them. Because, listen, the Mets are minus $1.65 to $1.75, depending on where you shop. You can take them with plus money at plus $1.20 to $1.30. And that's the only way you can really play this game tonight. You know, I'd hate to go ahead and tell you that even breaking my own personal cap, which, although I say it's 160, very rarely will you find me playing a 150 favorite in baseball. But in this particular case, I would say go ahead, take the Mets on the run line. Yeah, you got to win by 2 runs. But have the Dodgers shown you anything on the road this season? Have the Dodgers shown you anything offensively in terms of being a consistent ball club all season long, especially on the road? No. So I think tonight you're looking at a Mets win, 5-2, 4-2, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that's why I like the Mets on the run line. So the Steelers, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the game outright. And the Mets on the run line are your 2 complimentary plays. I wish you well, guys. And we'll do this again one more time tomorrow.